started the Style Factory in 2009. When I started it, I was a fashion journalist. I had a few difficulties after having my little girl and wanted to do something completely different, and came out of journalism and decided to start teaching other people about the fashion industry. So it started after just going around to schools and just going into schools and talking to them about the fashion industry. Then we progressed to corporate sponsorship, so I was getting paid by different organisations to do projects in the community. So for example, we worked with Little Woods and Shop Direct and did a big project across Liverpool and Halton where we went into the schools that we work with, and they all set up their own fashion labels, and then we did a fashion show just as a one-off project. So eventually I took the leap to become a CIC in 2012, and the reason why was because I was working with a lot of different groups in the community, a lot of youth groups, a lot of schools who couldn't afford to pay for the projects that they wanted us to come in and do. It was purely and simply because it was so expensive to buy fabric and to buy the materials for the projects that we needed a cheaper way around it. So to recycle and to use unwanted textiles that were donated to us was a way of getting around that and making our budget stretch a bit further. We did a project with the MRWA from their community fund. They funded us to do this Halton Remade project, which was all about promoting recycling textiles in the Halton area. And it was from doing that that I realised that it is such a massive issue, the reuse of textiles, and it is that there's not many people out there, well, it's particularly in our area, that were doing it already. So we became much more aware of it, and personally I became much more aware of it and much more involved in the whole area. So we were really aware that it was going to be a difficult thing to do, especially to engage in something like recycling clothes. It was just that we knew we were onto a struggle from the start. So we divided the project up into 3 different levels of engagement in order to try and get as many people as possible involved. The first level was spontaneous engagement. So basically we just ran a bunting project. It's the simplest thing that we could teach people how to do on a sewing machine was to make bunting. So we collected unwanted materials. It was anything from bed sheets, curtains, clothes, anything that people were throwing away. And we just literally set up our sewing machines anywhere we could in the Halton community. So that was the most basic form of engagement that we did on that project, because, like I say, we just set up anywhere and everywhere that Davos, and over 2 months we just made as much as we could and engaged with anyone from brownie groups, guide groups, a few disability groups that we work with, the people on Wetherspoons. We set up on the market, we've been into a few schools, anyone that would have us, we did that. And we got into the local paper as well, which helped to kind of spread awareness of what we were doing as well. And then the next level up was a drop-in engagement. So we set up a number of different pop-up shops within Halton, in Runcorn and in Widnes, with the idea of helping people to upcycle their clothes that they already have, things that they were about to throw away or they didn't use anymore. And then the final level of engagement was to be actively involved in the project as well. So as part of the project we had this exhibition that was in the local theatre, and it was clothes that we collected from the community, and then we reworked them into an exhibition. I couldn't build the things that we wanted to do with the Style Factory just on grant funding, because our idea is to have an actual viable enterprise that is recycling clothes and textiles and reselling them, but then using members of the community to do that and educating them and providing job opportunities at the same time. That has always been what the Style Factory is about. Which we were approached by a private training company provider who said, you know, we love your project, what you want to do, we can get you the money to do it, you provide training, we'll get the funding, we'll pay you for the training, and then that's going to build, you know, your whole organisation. The programmes that are funded are very work-based, so they are very heavily focused on work placements, and the learners that we had, we were having to get them into work placements, which is really hard, especially somewhere like Halton. Getting them into a fashion-based work placement was really hard. And employees, we also did upcycling. We upcycled with a very commercial mind, so we did it in ranges, so we didn't just upcycle odd pieces like we talked about before. We had products that we knew were commercially viable.